Ja, hätte ich gerne. Okay, ich würde gerne Englisch. Ja, schauen wir mal. Bringen wir beide. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. You're familiar also with the song Jai Radha Madhava? Yes? Okay. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajadana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jayam Vishnu Pad Paramahansa Parivatakata Sutarasata Sri Srimad-Bhagavatam Narvina Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnava Ki Jai Namataya Sri Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Premseko Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shyamakunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Kantarat Srimad-Bhagavatam Ki Jai Gaur Bhaktavinda Ki Jai All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to the assembled devotees Hare Krishna All glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, I would read and speak in English. Gibt es eine Übersetzung? Okay, vielen Dank, Mataji. We are reading today from Gantharaj Srimad-Bhagavatam, continuing in Canto 4, which is called The Creation of the Fourth Order, and specifically Chapter 21, Instructions by Maharaja Prithu, text 46. Yes. Putrena Jayate Lokan. Putrena Jayate Lokan. Putrena Jayate Lokan. Iti Satyavati Shrutihi. Iti Satyavati Shrutihi. Iti Satyavati Shrutihi. Brahma Danda Hataha Papo. Brahma Danda Hata Papo. Brahma Danda Hata Papo. Yad Veno Tyatarat Tamaha. Yad Veno Tyatarat Tamaha. Yad Veno Tyatarat Tamaha. Putrena Jayate Lokan. Iti Satyavati Shrutihi. Brahmadanda Hata Papo. Yad Veno Tyatarat Tamaha. Putrena Jayate Lokan. Iti Satyavati Shrutihi. Brahmadanda Hata Papo. Yad Veno Tyatarat Tamaha. Jayate Lokan. Ladies, Matajis, someone? Putrena, by the sun. Jayate, one becomes victorious. Lokan, all the heavenly planets. Iti, thus. Satyavati becomes true. Shrutihi, the Vedas. Brahmadanda, by the curse of Brahmanas. Hataha, killed. Papaha, the most sinful. Yat, as. Venaha, the father of Maharaj Prithu. Ati, great. Atarat, became delivered. Tamaha, from the darkness of hellish life. Translation. Yes. They all declared that the Vedic conclusion that one can conquer the heavenly planets by the action of a putra or son was fulfilled. For the most sinful Vena, who had been killed by the curse of the Brahmanas, was now delivered from the darkest region of hellish life by his son, Maharaja Prithu. Purport. Yes, before we start reading the purport, we may give the context a little bit, that we are here in one section of Srimad-Bhagavatam, which is delineating the personality and activities of King Prithu, who is actually considered Shakti Avesha Avatar. He is so empowered by God that he is categorized as an avatar, as God himself. So he is the son of his father, we can say, Vena, who was also a king. So Maharaj means king, and Prithu and Vena before him, he was the king of the whole world. So, but unlike Maharaj Prithu, who was the most exemplary personality in all respects, Vena, it says he was the grandson of death personified, and he also and that had quite some his character was strongly influenced, impregnated by that heritage. So when this Vena was even a small boy, like small boys, they play with other boys, but sometimes in play he would kill his playmates, and he would go, and then as a king who is supposed to be powerful also, he it says that the soldiers, they would not they would practice fighting by going into the forest and fighting with wild animals. The wild animals, sometimes they are a disturbance for people. Like nowadays we don't know this so much, but like in India, in many places they speak about tigers in the jungle, and here in this region, I don't know how many years ago, but there will have been some wolves. So dangerous animals. And if you know that these animals are there, then you cannot move peacefully. So it is not just killing, but there is some benefit also, general benefit. But kings, they would practice fighting like this. It says they would, actually that was one, qualification to become a king, that the king or the prince, prospective ruler, he has to, with one sword, he has to go to the forest, and only with the sword he has to kill a tiger. So it's a real challenge, a great challenge. So King Vena, then supposing to be the next king in the dynasty, he went to the forest, and then he didn't go for the tigers, he went for the deer. He just shot down the innocent deer. So from the beginning of his life, he was just manifesting full-fledged cruelty and hatred for other living beings. So, and here in the verse, he is mentioned as most sinful. That is sinful to be like this. So King Vena, he because even though he had such a character, still he was the story is much bigger, but in short, there was still necessity, because in the kingdom, which was unruled before, if a kingdom is not ruled properly, then all kinds of thieves and criminals, they become strong, they can move freely, they can do their mischief. So the sages at the time, they decided that even though his character is very questionable, still we make him the king, because then at least those people will also be afraid. They will not dare to do something for which to be punished. So they installed Vena as the king, and then by his severe rule, then what they hoped, it took place, that there was no criminal things so much going on in the kingdom, even less than before, because people were so afraid to be punished by this very severe ruler. So King Vena became king like this, and in that aspect that was good, but his bad character then ultimately still prevailed, because not only was he very cruel and severe with anyone, but he went to the point that the religious life, which was very prominent during that era of humanity, religion, he didn't have any relation with that. He didn't have any faith in religious principles, in spiritual realization. But he grew up in that culture. So what happened is that he declared that we should stop all religious performances, all the sacrifices, all the education on religious life, everything. We will just stop this. We will just stop all of this. And the Brahmanas, the sages, they came to him and they asked, "Dear sir, what is going on? We have heard you are suppressing all of this, but all this is needed for people to be healthy and wealthy." We say in English, healthy, wealthy, and wise. So we need religious practice. We need proper education. We need higher values and knowledge in human society, so that people can be happy and satisfied. And King Vena, he responded that, well, you're speaking about God, worshipping God, but and that is the quality of a. Anyway, what he did is he twisted the meaning of the scripture. He said that here in the scripture it says that the king is supposed to be the representative of God. He is called Naradeva, God in a human form, and so I know this. So you should also know this. I am God. You should all worship me. You should all worship me. You should glorify me. You should offer sacrifice to me. Everything for me. I am, for you, practically speaking, I am God. So you can do anything, all these religious principles, but you should understand you have to offer to me. And when he, I tell one anecdote I heard recently. Srila Prabhupada, when his movement started to become successful, Srila Prabhupada, he would travel so much. He would by airplane, he would go to a different place again and again. And then wherever he went, if some disciples were there, some community of followers was there, they would come to the airport and they would greet him with big kirtan in the middle of the airport, and they would sing, and all the people, they become, what is this? Hare Krishna was not well known then, especially in the Western world, so it was a big revolution, a big new thing. So people became confused and looked on, and like 20, 30 young people, imagine, they're all dressed up as Vaishnavas, and they are wild chanting Hare Krishna and greeting their spiritual master. And they bring him flower garlands, and they rent some expensive car to pick him up from the airport. And they offer him so much worship and adoration and respect. And so it is a big scene, always. And then sometimes Srila Prabhupada, he would, because so many people would look on, then sometimes he would just take advantage and speak something to them. And then on one occasion, Srila Prabhupada, he came to one place, they offered all the garlands, they were singing loudly, they were giving him so much respect, and all the people watch, and Srila Prabhupada, he took advantage and he addressed those people present, and he explained that, so, for the disciple, the spiritual master is to be treated like God, because he represents God fully. He is fully transparent to ultimately God's personality, for the disciple especially. And and then Srila Prabhupada said, so he explained, why am I receiving such opulence? And then Srila Prabhupada said, but if the spiritual master thinks that he has become God, then he has become dog. So Srila Prabhupada, like this, in a humorous way, he would express that on, yes, the disciple, he has to appreciate his guru on a grand scale, because the guru, for him, he is that link to the divine reality, to the ultimate fulfillment of the purpose of life. A living relationship with the personality of Godhead. So the spiritual master has to be worshipped like God, like this. But if the spiritual master, doesn't understand his true position, that I am also a servant of God, and I'm supposed to be a qualified servant of God, who is so qualified that he becomes transparent to the Lord. That is the idea. The spiritual master is so intimate with God that his whole being, his whole personality, all his activities, they are fully transparent to, to God's nature. And by seeing the spiritual master, one will understand, yes, God is there. So Srila Prabhupada made this point, and this King Vena, he did not understand this point. He said, yes, everyone is worshiping, I'm the king anyway, everyone is respecting me, so why not? You please worship me, I'm the supreme. So that was his sin, essential wrong disposition in life. And when the brahmanas, the sages, when they heard this, then they in consent with each other, they knew what they were doing, so it was not, haphazardly done. But what they did is they held their Brahmin threads and exhibited their mystic power. It says simply by very high pitch sounds, simply by some hum 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 something, they killed him. He just fell over dead by that. So they were so powerful. Yes, nowadays mystic powers are not very prevalent in human society, but in bygone ages, there were people who could, let's say, in bygone ages, mystic power was something more revealed. Higher spheres of reality were more revealed to general people. So the brahmanas, they openly showed their actual power, and simply by high-pitched sounds, the king he had to fall over dead. And then, without going into details, but they continued to exhibit extraordinary skill and expertise, because after they killed the king, they thought, okay, he really took it too far, and this was necessary step. But now again, nobody is there to rule the kingdom. Chaos starts taking over. The citizens cannot be happy, and what do we do now? So next, what they did, somehow they had this dead body, and they kept it well, and then from the dead body, they produced. There are more details, but they produced from the dead body, they produced a new body. And that was Maharaj Prithu. And I never thought of this before, but it is very interesting that King Vena, he declared, I am God. The body of the king means this is God. So, and he had wrong understanding. So they killed him, but from his body, they somehow extracted a new body. And that was Prithu Maharaj. And Prithu Maharaj is considered actually a Shakti Avesha avatar. So even though they killed him, they respected what he said, and they were so powerful that it says normally people are born by the sexual union of a father and mother, and it says that according to the consciousness of the parents, that is what kind of person they attract to become their child. So Maharaj Prithu was born, so to say, from the body of King Vena, and the persons who actually gave birth to him were the pure brahmanas, the pure saintly sages. And there was no seminal discharge, I guess, I don't know, I don't think so, it is not mentioned. So somehow, by their mystic ability, they invited a God-empowered living being to take place, to take birth or to appear in this world from the body of King Vena. And in that sense, they actually respected his statement, isn't it? They respected the statement. The king should be non-different from God. So why not make God our next king? It's just a detail, but it's an interesting detail, I think. So, so then Maharaj Prithu, I don't know if we can say he took birth like this, but he appeared like this, and his parents were the pure brahmanas, so to say. And so how powerful persons also, they invoke, practically speaking, God to come. And Maharaj Prithu, then he fully exhibited that glory, and it says that he was specifically, anyway. So Maharaj Prithu, he became that next king, and from beginning to end, his rule is glorious and glorified, and several chapters deal with Maharaj Prithu like this. So in this, in this present chapter that we have here, it is called Instructions by Maharaj Prithu. So the setting is that there is a public assembly, and Maharaj Prithu, he is speaking in public, and in a how to say, in a more sophisticated, spiritually and religiously orientated society, the king is not only, or the head of state is not simply supposed to create material facilities. He should not just be concerned to provide some food and some material education and wealth and infrastructure. All these things may be needed, they are needed in life, but if the king only, or the head of state only provides this, then he fails his duty. Because the purpose of human life is self-realization and God-realization. So if the king will not provide for this, then his duty is not complete. So Maharaj Prithu, in an open assembly in public, for everyone to hear, he is giving advice to his citizens. And he is with very pleasing and loving language and disposition, he is instructing his citizens, basically giving them the understanding, please worship God, please dedicate your life to God. Why? Because yes, he wants that also, but it is also good for you. It is for your own benefit. And he said that by worshiping God purely and properly, you will get all that you need in material life, and you will transcend material life as well. That is the beauty. If one becomes an accomplished spiritualist, he will get everything in this world. At the same time, he will go beyond this world, and he will find all the spiritual realizations about himself, and how we are actually not the bodies. We are divine living beings. We belong to the divine atmosphere, and we can actually enter that atmosphere fully. And as Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita also, Bhaktya Mama Vijanati, that Krishna is saying, the Lord himself is saying, I am achieved by devotion. I am achieved by pure love. So, and dedication and expression of that love. So, Maharaj Prithu is giving instructions like this, and being very, very non-puffed up, not proud, but very humble and very accommodative. He is telling the people that I am your king. This means that I am responsible for you. And this means that whatever good you do, it goes on my head also. And whatever bad you do, that also goes on my head to some extent. It says that the head of state, he takes 1/6, how in English the word is so, ein Sechstel, 1/6 of the reaction to the activities, karma, of all the citizens. 1/6. That's so much. Imagine you have Germany, 80 million people, something like this. So imagine you're head of state in Germany. 1/6 of the karma of 80 million people goes on your head. So Maharaj Prithu, he's stating the fact. It is a fact also. So he's humbly stating that, please live your life nicely, live your life properly, because if you don't, then I also have a problem. Please have mercy. So he is not only a very competent ruler, he is even humble. He has perfect character. So he is instructing his citizens like this. And after having done this, then he also declares his personal aspiration. And he's saying that let on my crown, the king, he has a crown, he looks bigger, taller than anyone else, and he looks majestic and glorious. So he says that on this crown, what do I want? I want the dust of the saintly people. I want the dust of the pure devotees of God. In other words, I want their feet on my head. That's humble. And that is dedication. So, and in that way he is also giving example, because the ruling class should always obey the pure spiritualists. Because the pure spiritualists, they are considered the head of society. So the head of society, or let's say we have a body, if the head is not working properly, the whole body will suffer severely. If we cannot think properly, if a person becomes mad, sometimes people become mad, and then they have to be maybe even bound up or so, because they will harm themselves. So if we don't have a head, we have a problem. So in bigger society also, those who are truly intelligent and truly wise, they should always be given full respect. especially the rulers of general society, those who have political power, social influence, and yes, they should always work under the guidance of those who are wise and spiritually accomplished. So King Prithu here exemplified this understanding also, that I always want to be, under the protection and guidance of those pure sages, brahmanas. So Maharaj Prithu, we heard this for many days now. It's a long section, many verses. Maharaj Prithu, he was speaking like this, and this is just concluded, and then here in the Bhagavatam, it is narrated how, no, they all means those brahmanas, those great saintly sages. They all declared that it was very good. Ultimately, they considered their work a success. The previous king, his behavior was bad, his character was bad, and he was creating havoc, and they didn't know what to do, so they decided we take him from his position. They actually killed him, and then they brought King Prithu. They invited King Prithu as the predecessor, as the next king. And here, Maharaj Prithu, he is fully exhibiting his qualification, his beautiful character, and his ability to be perfect. And when he is fully expressing that himself, then especially the last thing he declared was, I always want to be humble before the self-realized pure devotees of God. And when they hear this, they say, our endeavor was successful. Because here it is explained that a good son will deliver his father from hellish life. That means if the karma of the father, something went very bad and the karma is bad, and then in his next life he has to suffer a lot. That is bad karma practically expressed. It means that we have to suffer. So Vena, he was such a destructive personality, and would certainly suffer after they killed him. Wherever the soul in that body went, certainly the destination was very inauspicious and full of miserable conditions. So the saintly devotees, they know this. But by making sure that his descendant is pure and a perfect person, they actually gave full protection even to this sinful King Vena. You understand? They gave him full protection, because by his own activities, his situation would just become worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. So they stopped his bad activities, and they created that situation. They gave rise to such a course of development that his son, the perfect king, the perfect ruler, the perfect devotee of God, he would be such that the King Vena, all his sin will be delivered. And they are saying here, instead of going to a hellish condition, he will go to a very pleasing condition in his next life. So here they consider that, yes, we have done the right thing. Because sometimes you have such situations in life, you feel that, oh, this would be good, but if I do this, man, this looks really bad, and along the way, real trouble will happen. So, I mean, they killed someone. That's serious. Saintly, and a saintly person has good character, so he will not just do this, as I said, haphazardly, not just like I'm angry and I shoot someone. But they had an idea of what they are doing. But there was a risky element in that. There was a risky element. But as things turned out, it was the proper course of action. So sometimes in life it looks like we have to sacrifice our values, we have to sacrifice some situations, something. But if we are, if we are properly inspired and guided, then by doing such things, in the long run, we will see that it was the correct thing. It was the right thing. And everyone will be benefited. That is the ultimate success, if we in the long run see that everyone is benefited by this. And it needs a very broad perspective. The bigger you have a picture of things, the more you can, or how to say, yeah. I mean, we are speaking here beyond one life, right? In nowadays world, people think about one life. Yes, I think about my education, I think about my money making, this, that, and family life maybe, and how to have a nice family, and then this, that, and children, and nice sweet home, and then yes, then I'm well, and I know how I will live in my old age also. When I cannot work anymore, then maybe children will take care of me, health insurance or pension, this, that. Everything is settled. Everything. Now, nothing to worry about, just enjoy. No, but the spiritual perspective goes beyond one life. So, what an amazing feat those brahmanas accomplished, I think. So, like this. I find it very interesting. So, yes. And in, let's say, more spiritually orientated society, then here what is indicated is that a son of a father can specifically perform certain rituals, and in that way, by doing that, he gives some benefit to his father. You have Indian background, you may know details, Shraddha ceremony and such things. So I know nothing about these things. So we can ask, how do we deal with this topic nowadays? And yeah. Maybe we will speak about this also, but yeah, in essence, we always depend on higher authority, and ultimately we depend on the personality of Godhead. We depend on God, and if this is also said in scripture, that if you can satisfy God by your activities and by your life, then everything is attained. And we see this in narration with Prahlad, that his father was also a great mischief, and God, he was such a great mischief. He was a real big mischief, because for him it was not anyone who had to kill him. God himself had to come to kill him. Usually God is not just running around in the world and showing himself like this. It's very moderate. God, one of his qualities is that he is shy. He's reserved. He's not eager to just, how to say, in how to say, step into people's life. I'm missing the word, like very boldly and very in a very rough way. God is not like this. So he's always very reserved, and if you think that he doesn't exist, he will allow you to think like this. So God is quite reserved. He's shy. He's not just putting himself in the foreground like this. He's not he's not intruding. God is not an intruding personality. But this demon was so great that the Lord, he had to come as Nrsingadev. And he had to kill him. So very severe pastime. So and then his son Prahlad, who witnessed the whole scene and who was a true son of God also, he then was because his own father had to kill him. Anyway, so much to say. But he, then after this was done, Prahlad told Lord Nrsimhadev, please, my father was such a bad person. And yes, Nrsimhadev, he asked him, you are so dear to me. Now I've come already. Please ask me for anything you like. This is a very interesting thing also. If God appears before you and tells you, what do you want? I am God. What do you want? And God can give you anything. He can do anything in your life. There is nothing that he cannot do. So if God comes before you and asks you, please, I want to give you something. I want to do something for you. What do you want? That is very interesting. So Prahlad first, he said, dear sir, I don't want anything from you. He is saying that if I would ask anything from you, I would be a businessman. I am your unconditional servant, and you are my unconditional master. There is nothing I want from you. Please, don't trick me like this. Don't make me a businessman. And Nrsimhadev, he is like, yes, this is very good, but still I want to give something to you, something. And Prahlad is saying, okay, if there is one thing you want to grant me, then please, my father, he was such a bad person. He was so sinful. He was such an evil person. He was so cruel. He had no good qualities. He did so much abominable things. Please excuse him. Please excuse him. Don't let him suffer so hellishly for what he has done. He would have to suffer so badly. So don't somehow, if you can do anything, please deliver him. Please deliver him from this painful condition that he is supposed to expect. So that is how things depend on the sanction of God and on the consent of God. And what is Nrsimhadev answering to Prahlad? He is saying that, don't worry, you are very dear to me. In your family, he's saying practically, I don't remember the detail, some numbers. He's saying like 100 generations before and 100 generations after you, everyone is delivered. Everyone. And this is how God is a person. Bhagavad Gita again, Samohang sarva bhuteshu namyadvesyo stina priyaha. That Krishna is telling Arjuna, I am equal to everyone. Samohang sarva bhut, I am equal to all living entities. Namyadvesyo stina priyaha. No one is especially favored by me. No one is especially neglected by me. We can see that practically. Generally, people have something to eat. They have a roof over their head. And nowadays, anyway, different topic. But in essence, God is providing for all living beings. For all living beings. Even the ants. Srila Prabhupada would many times, even the ants, they have something. So, even the elephants in Africa, they eat so much, but there's also a lot of things. So they have enough to eat. So everyone has to eat. And so on. So God is providing necessities of life to all living entities. And so Krishna is saying, I'm equal to all. I don't favor anyone. I don't neglect anyone also. I take care of everyone, individually, perfectly, personally. That is my capacity, Krishna is saying. But then, Ye bhajanti tumang bhaktya. Whoever worships me with devotion, Krishna is saying, whoever worships me with devotion, with bhakti, with love, then mayi teshu. I am mayi te. I am situated in them. And teshu chapyaham. And they are also in me. So that means that as much as a person also dedicates himself to the Lord, he's saying, he's saying, they are in me, I am in them. This is like, there's no more intimacy than this. So God is very closely connecting with those who worship Him properly. Why? Because, also Bhagavad Gita, Ye yatamang prapadyante tangstataiva bhajamiham. As you surrender to me, I reward you accordingly. As you surrender, as much as you give to me, I give to you. So if you give everything to God, God has to give everything to you also. And if you give everything to God, it may not be so much. But if God gives everything to you, that's a lot. That's a lot. He's the provider of everything. And He's the ruler of everything. So if God gives Himself to you, that is very much. That is a lot. So if a person becomes dear to God, then the Lord, He takes care of him so nicely, so personally, so completely. And He knows our heart also. So everyone who is close to us, who is dear to us, that person is blessed. That person is blessed automatically. There's one other verse also in Bhagavatam. Ahang bhakta paradino yasvantantra iva divija. Sadhubir grastarido. And the last line I forgot, but that is the most important, because Krishna is saying that I'm not independent. I am not. And usually we say God is Svarat. He's fully. There's one single person who is completely independent. There is nothing that controls him. There is nothing that conditions him. He's beyond anything. That is the Lord. So He Himself is saying, I am not at all independent. He's saying, I am fully under the control of my devotees. I am fully controlled by them. I am fully under their control. And therefore, it is also not so easy to become a pure devotee of God, because He says, if I accept you like this, then I belong to you. God is the property of His devotee. He is so humble. And loyal also. God is He is the devotee of His devotee, so to say. And then Krishna is saying, so I'm not at all independent. I'm fully under their control. Vashi means fully under control. And He's saying that not even my devotees, the devotees of my devotees, they are also dear to me. This is amazing. The devotees of my devotees. And there's one other verse also. It says that, what is that? That's also Krishna speaking. He is saying that the person who says, I am my devotee, Krishna is saying, the person who is saying that he is my devotee, he is not my devotee. The person who is saying, I'm the devotee of my devotee, he's my best devotee. And Prahlad Maharaj is also expressing like this. He's saying that I don't want anything, nothing. And Nrsingadev asking, and okay, your father, yes. And then Prahlad Maharaj is saying, but there's one thing. I want to be, how to say? I want to always be in the service of your devotee. So that is the loving dealings. There is no expectation, there is no reservation, there is nothing to ask. There is only to give. That is bhakti. That is love of God. Unconditionally. So if God is conquered like this by a person, as much as he is conquered, then that means that anyone in the environment of this person, anyone who is somehow connected to this person, is very much benefited. And what to speak of people who are our family members, because the karma is so close that you have taken birth in the same family. The karma is very close. There's a lot of karma we share if we have bodily relationships with someone. So, therefore it is assumed, Maharaj Prithu, he's saying, I want to be the pure devotee of the pure devotees. He has the supreme understanding. He is the supreme application in life. He is perfect. And therefore, the sages, they say, he is perfect. He understood everything. And he's applying everything also. So therefore, we are very confident. His father, even though we say we know he was sinful, he was ill-disposed, he did so many destructive things, we are assured he is delivered. There is success. So the active principle is always Krishna, the supreme person who is standing behind everything, who is guiding everything, who is overlooking everything, and who is always thinking of how to benefit everyone. So, yes. Is there one more point? So I don't understand all the details of ritualistic ceremonies one can do to, influence the fate of other people. And but the principle is there that, especially nowadays, where we are not so, our religious life generally is not very sophisticated, meaning in terms of rituals that we do and this and that. And if one has no connection with Hare Krishna movement, or let's say the Vedic culture that is still reflected in India, then if one comes here, I remember when I came here first time, I liked everything, but many things I could understand nothing, like really nothing. And so, but after 10 years that I'm spending here, I'm thinking that, what we are doing here, in one sense, that's also like nothing. That's not very sophisticated. This is quite simple. So, meaning to say that nowadays, our religious culture, meaning in what we do, is not so, let's say advanced, not so intricate. So therefore, nowadays we are advised to just go for the essence. We just go for the essence. We try to be a devotee of God. We try to give our life to God. We try to please God while living in this world. We don't have to run away from the world, but within this world, we try to develop a relationship with God, and in that way, become dear to the Lord. And when we become dear to the Lord, when we become dear to the Lord Himself, then everything for us will be taken care of, and everything around us will also be blessed. That is the idea. And yes, and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, founder of Hare Krishna movement, once, maybe I end with the story. Let's see. I hope I can conclude like this. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once, one learned, we could say learned Brahmana. He was we say bookworm. He was reading the Vedas up and down, and the Vedas were such a vast literature, so you easily become confused and distracted. So this Brahmana, he was reading the books all the time, and he wanted to know, what is the meaning of life? What is the purpose of life? I don't understand. And the more he was reading, the more he became confused. Because this text is saying like this text is saying like that, and in this passage like this, and in that passage like that. So he became bewildered, very bewildered. And then one night he had a dream, and one, I don't know, anyway, never mind the dream. But this Brahmana then ultimately he met Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he was still living in Navadvip as a householder. He had not taken sannyas yet. And he was a teacher, so he was very renowned that he is teaching people, and he was very influential and popular. So this Brahmana, he came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and expressed his dilemma that I am trying to understand the purpose of life. The Vedas, they are supposed to teach me about the purpose of life, and I'm bewildered. I'm trying to read the books, I'm trying to understand, but I don't understand. And the more I read, the more I become bewildered. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he advised him in a very simple way. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told him, whatever else he told him also, but then he told him, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And he said, Sadite, Sadite. Sadite means like to beg, or I don't know, So, and Sadite, Sadite, that means you should beg and beg and beg and beg. Preman Kurahabi. If you chant the names of God, well, in this mood, I want to understand what life is about. I want to do the proper thing. I want to understand the proper thing. I want to do like this. If you chant the names of God and beg, actually whatever you beg for, whatever you feel that you need, you go to God and you call for Him. It is so simple. You just call for Him. And what will happen? What will happen if you chant the name of God? Preman Kurahabe. You will get, love will arise in your heart. You will experience how love is in your heart. And if you experience this factually, then Sadhya Sadhana Tattva. Tattva means truth, Sadhya means the goal, and Sadhana means the activity that you have to perform to achieve the goal. So if you cry and cry to God, and if love awakens in your heart from this, then you will understand in truth. There will be no doubt. There will be no confusion. It will be crystal clear. It will be crystal clear what is the goal in life and how to get there. And this is according to what we want. This Brahmana, he really wanted to know the truth. He really wanted to know. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told him that if you chant Hare Krishna and really want this and beg for it, the realization will be there. You will understand the truth. If you want something else, then something else is your goal, and something else is your process to achieve the goal. So, depending on what we want, we will get everything if we turn to God. Depending on what we want, because He fulfills our desires. As I said, He is shy. He is not interfering. He is not like intruding. He is very patient and humble, and He wants to serve us. And if we want something, then He may give it to us. So the question is, what do we want? So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he told him, Sadhya Sadhana Tattva Janiba Setabe. Then you will know this. You will know this. So the essence of becoming God conscious and dear and close to God, so to say, that is easily achieved by chanting His names. And that is not, that is not something that we mentally impose upon ourselves. Our Srila Prabhupada said that this chanting of Hare Krishna is not it's not an imposition on the mind. What will happen if we chant Hare Krishna? How is he putting it? Krishna. It is not the natural consciousness. The natural consciousness of the living being, which is to be Jivera Svarupa Hare Krishna Era Nitya Das. The eternal nature of the living being is to be a servant of God. So if we chant the names of God, this natural consciousnness will be revived. It will come up, it will come to the forefront, it will become, as I said, clear. So this is what we have to do. And yes, and this last point, that we can go to God with whatever we like. But Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu declared, and others have also declared, that love God with all your heart. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, to love God is the ultimate perfection of life. Because the living entity is eternal. And God is also eternal. So the relationship, if you have two eternal persons, that means you have a relationship between two persons, and that relationship is also eternal. So if you have a good relationship, the relationship is eternal. So we should have a good relationship. And if we learn to love God, then it is guaranteed that we have a good relationship. So we should understand that this is the ultimate thing. Whatever we want in life, let us understand that if it should help me to develop this love of God, we should learn to love God purely, fully. And that is it. That is the success. Yes, I will stop here. According to this time, it is 9 o'clock. On my phone, it is 2 minutes before 9. So anyway, yeah, officially at 9 o'clock we stop. So if anyone just is in a rush, please don't delay. But if anyone likes to ask any question or give some comment, you're most welcome.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, the question was whether if the father is freed, it's assumed that the mother is freed as well.
Yes.
In this context.
Yes. In a traditional, I mean, we don't know if this is practical, but in a traditional society, the father is the head of family, and the husband in that context. So the wife is how to say. She's under the protection of her husband. So if the husband is delivered, if the husband is well, the wife will be with him. Yes? Okay. Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.